All right, everybody. Welcome to Get Fit for God. Today is day number 3 of our 7-day fitness and spiritual challenge. I want to thank everybody that showed up today for our Wellness Wednesday. I thank you so much for that. For those that are new, Get Fit for God, I created Get Fit for God to put spirituality and fitness together as one entity. So we are here to get our bodies fit, our minds fit, and also our spirits fit, because we as Christians, iron should sharpen iron, meaning that we should teach other Christians how to become better on their spiritual journey. So today we're taking a break away from our normal schedule where we're doing our fitness and our Bible study, and today we're focusing on wellness, health and wellness. So today is a day that we usually invite in a health professional to do a panel interview where they will speak for for a little bit, and then we can do some question and answer as well. So we have a wonderful panel today that will be presenting today. Give me one more second. Someone's coming in. Okay, there we go. And so we thank everyone here for showing up. Hopefully, you'll learn something today. Definitely get your questions together. And just a few rules about the questions. When you do ask a question, make sure that you only ask 2 questions at a time. And when you do ask the question, make sure you ask them one at a time. And make sure that you guys wait until Dr. McNair has finished his presentation, because we will have a time for allotted just for questions. Okay. All right. Some more people are coming in. All right. All right, everyone. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's start out with prayer like we always do. So if everybody doesn't mind closing their eyes and bowing their head, let's go ahead and start out with prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for day number 3 of our 7-day fitness and spiritual challenge. We magnify you. We honor you. We thank you, Lord, for just being in this place today, dear Lord. We thank you, dear Lord, for everyone that has shown up today, dear Lord, the ones that have wanted to show up, and also the ones that will be watching the replay later on, dear Lord. Allow this Wellness Wednesday to be inspirational to them, dear Lord, and give them the information they need for a healthier life, dear Lord. We ask you, dear Lord, just to bless the speaker, dear Lord. Allow his words to be powerful, dear Lord. Allow whatever he's teaching us today, dear Lord, to for it to sink into our minds and our hearts when it comes to wellness and health, dear Lord. We ask you just to bless him, dear Lord. We thank you, dear Lord, for everything that you've given us. Thank you for expanding our community and our Get Fit for God family. In the Lord Jesus Christ's name, amen. All right, everybody. All right, so let's jump right into it. Whoever else is coming on, I'll let them in. But let's go ahead and utilize Dr. McNair's time. So give me just one moment. All right. So Dr. James McNair was born and raised and educated in Arkansas. After medical school, his education included internship in San Francisco and a tour of service as a preventative medical officer, and then integrative medical school in Washington, D.C. He practices integrative ophthalmology now with Dr. Wingo at Associated Comprehensive Eye Care in Ocala, Florida. He is also an author of Dr. McNair, Smart Way of Healing. And last but not least, Dr. McNair was the person who performed my cataract surgery a few months ago, and he did an awesome job. Thank you, Dr. McNair. So I want to introduce you, everyone, to Dr. McNair. You're on mute, Dr. McNair. You have to come off of mute. You're on mute. You have to unmute your line. Dr. McNair, you have to unmute your line. You're still on mute. We can't hear you. There
Okay,
you
now,
go. There you
okay,
go.
found it. Found it. Okay, good, good. Okay, now you can hear me. And I think I'm supposed to be talking for a few minutes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Yeah, Aaron asked me to come on to talk to him about. I have been involved with integrative medicine for a long time, um, and it makes a lot of sense, I think, to be involved with integrative medicine. So I started years ago in med school, and went to the Army after med school. After my internship, actually after my internship in San Francisco, I went to the Army, and I was drafted as a preventive medicine officer. After my internship, I thought I was going to become a general surgeon, and I was headed that way. So I thought that was going to be my ultimate goal and my ultimate profession. But after I got into the Army, I realized that there were some things medicine had not taught me, and I really was concerned about what I was going to do after I finished my Army duty. So anyway, I still went up to the University of Arkansas to sign up as a general surgeon. And when I got there, I was literally signing my name. I already had been approved to have a residency there. I was signing my name to the dotted line to commit to do the general surgery when some friends of mine came up and said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to become a general surgeon." And they said, "What? You're not a general surgeon." And I said, "Well, I better reconsider this." I took my application home, threw it in the trash, and said, "You're right, I'm not a general surgeon. It takes an intensity of care that I did not have, that kind of intensity to work like general surgery used to work even harder than it do now." And so I didn't have that intensity. So I was looking for something else to do in surgery, though, because I knew I wanted to be a surgeon. And as it happened, I didn't know much about ophthalmology. I got to follow an ophthalmologist at Fort Benning. Dr. Guyton was a wonderful teacher. And I said, "Yeah, I can do this." And so I was able to, was fortunate to get a residency. I mean, God had his hand on me at the time, and I didn't even know God at the time. But he had his hand on me from application all the way up to getting residency at a really great residency program at Arkansas. But anyway, so I got into that. But I still had in the back of my mind, I knew there was something I was missing as far as taking care of patients. And so I started talking to people as I got into my practice in Rogers, Arkansas. Got into my practice there, and I started talking to people about their general health and how it applied to their eyes. And as I got more involved in that, I decided for my best interest was to go into a preventive medicine practice. And at the time, I left ophthalmology. So I moved back to Little Rock with the idea that I was going to do preventive medicine practice. And I did that for about 3 years and went broke. So I decided I better get back into ophthalmology and maybe have an income. But I still took the ideas that I was trying to tell people about, particularly exercise at the time. I was joined with some other people that knew a lot more about the procedure than I did, but I learned how to do exercise, how to run particularly, and tried to teach other people about exercise and the benefits thereof. So after I did that for 3 years, went broke, got back into ophthalmology, had some really fortunate things happen in ophthalmology, but I still wanted to do more to help people, and I knew I was missing some things to help people as far as being able to get their health better so that their vision could get better as well. Like what I was able to do with Aaron as far as surgery goes. I love cataract surgery, and thankfully we have a good result with cataract surgery. But it's still for other people who have things like strokes or tumors and this kind of thing that need to be treated other ways. I thought I better get into doing some other things. So anyway, I was able to go to an integrative medical school. I was in Washington, D.C., 1998 to 2000. So I graduated from there, learned a whole lot of different things that I thought would be helpful. And I tried getting into many of those things. I'd like to discuss in just a moment. But one of the things I've learned was some just general principles I'd like to tell y'all about that I think are important, that for your general well-being and for your ocular well-being as well. So number one thing I ask people to do when they come to see me is to hydrate. Drink water. It is so important to become hydrated. If you're not drinking enough water, you will have problems, health problems of some kind. The number one thing I see that concerns me is stroke. Almost everybody who has a stroke of any kind, brain or eye, usually they're dehydrated. And there's a reason for that. They're drinking too much coffee, tea, cola, alcohol, maybe smoking. They may be doing other things that you shouldn't be doing in that regard. But they get real dehydrated and they have strokes in the eye, which is very difficult to get anything back if you have that. They have strokes of the brain, as y'all know, very much difficult to treat. And so preventive care starts with my book, and literally in my book, everybody mentioned that. But hydration is a key for good health. The number two thing I ask people to do is exercise. The AMA, American Medical Association, has shown that every disease is helped by exercise. And I know Aaron's program shows exercise all the time that can be a real help for people in his Get Fit for God. It's a way to get that just general exercise going, to get the body moving, get the heart beating, opening up blood vessels, to enhance circulation to the eyes, brain, etc., to the rest of the body, of course. And then third thing is good nutrition, which I have my things. I like to pick on 3 foods that are significant foods in our society that people eat a lot of. Sugar, starch, particularly wheat I'm talking about, and dairy. Those 3 can be a real problem. All you have to do is look up on the internet autoimmune disease, and those 3 things will be at the top of the list as far as foods that cause people to have arthritis, indigestion, GI problems, rheumatoid arthritis. I mentioned headaches, migraine headaches, and it just goes from head to skin problems, from like psoriasis type skin problem. Those are autoimmune diseases that can be treated by the way you eat and getting off of foods that create the problem. The way to do that is to eliminate, you abstain from a food, for instance, dairy, totally, milk, cheese, yogurt, ice cream, totally, 100% off for a period of time. And then that period of time usually is 10 days, by the way. You abstain for 10 days, and then the next day, challenge with that big old hunk of cheese you like so much, or that yogurt that you love, and watch what happens. Usually it's going to be a bad indigestion problem because that food does not digest well in people that have this problem, which is, by the way, I'm told 70% of Americans have trouble with dairy. And I think that high problem in gluten and sugar is probably 100%. But I'm just saying that if you go through that and you have that kind of reaction, it is showing that you should not be eating that food on a regular basis. Now, what I'm saying is I can abstain from dairy for months and months, and then maybe able to eat yogurt or whatever, or ice cream, whatever, and I'll be okay as long as I've stayed off it for a long time. But if I eat more than that, I'm gonna get stuffy nose. My problem is maybe sinuses, and so getting off those foods help my sinuses tremendously. I haven't had sinusitis for years since I've been off maybe gluten and dairy. Gluten is the protein of wheat. And so anyway, for me, those 3 foods make a huge difference. Then one more thing about nutrition is when and how much you eat, all that kind of thing, which y'all probably have heard of intermittent fasting. I'm a big proponent of intermittent fasting for at least 10 to 12 hours at least of fasting before you eat. And that way you give your stomach a chance to digest. You give a chance for the kind of body to regroup and this sort of thing so that you can digest your food better and utilize the food better. And if you want to lose weight, if you fast for 14 hours and then eat for 10 hours, you're going to do better. You're going to lose weight, particularly if you get off of sugar, starch, dairy, and you're going to have a shoe in as far as weight loss goes. The next feature I'd like to talk about is sleep. My wife got me onto this, and that was listening to music. You can do this with YouTube. You can get 432 hertz. All you have to do is dial into YouTube and you see a character sleeping like that with 432 hertz on the picture, and you listen to that, and you will sleep better, and it will give you rest, and you don't have to get up during the night, this kind of thing. And sure enough, you're going to go back to bed, almost always just knock off very, very quickly, get back to sleep. So it really, really helps, at least it has me, and it is scientifically shown that 432, say 432 hertz, is the frequency of music you listen to, and that should help. There's a lot more about frequency of music that can help you. There are other things to help sleeping and everything, which I'd be happy to talk to more about that if you'd like. And then the last, and certainly not the last in importance goes, but I usually bring this up last to help people understand the perspective that I have on spiritual life. In other words, I think my relationship with Christ is a paramount relationship with the Heavenly Father, paramount relationship, the most important thing in my life. And, I was fortunate enough to be saved back years ago when I was still in ophthalmology. The first time I was in ophthalmology, a good friend of mine, Bill Hoff, and I ran together and this kind of thing, and he kept witnessing to me. And I wanted what he had as far as peace in his life and this kind of thing. So, which I didn't have much at the time, and so I'm still learning more after years of doing what I'm doing now. But as far as getting closer to Christ, closer to the indwelling of the Holy Spirit, all those things that happen with your spiritual life, if you want peace in this life, good idea to get a relationship with the Creator God, and you can be happy with that, and it will make a difference. Along the way, I had a chance to write this book. It says Dr. McNair's Smart Way to Healing. I wanted to name it, It Must Be 50 Ways to Love Your Liver. But publisher would not let me do that. But anyway, I think inside this book, there are at least 80 different ways of helping the body. And this is the integrative part of what I'm talking about as far as medicine goes. In other words, medicine, classic medicine, surgery, what we have to offer to people is wonderful. Worldwide, the best. But we still are missing some things. For instance, acupuncture. If you have not read about acupuncture or heard about much about acupuncture, it is a coming thing in Western America, Western countries, because it works. In the East, particularly in Japan, China, sometimes France is a big country for acupuncture. There are countries that rely on that as their main way of helping people. So we know that there's something to it, and we are learning in the West about proving the benefit of acupuncture. There's going to be something that Dr. Brian and I are going to be doing in the near future. We believe that we'll be doing some acupuncture. This sounds weird, y'all, but I'm telling you, the ear has points on it that have the ability, if you touch them in the right spot, with a very fine needle, an extremely small needle that you can't barely feel. You touch the right points and you can help headaches, or you can help other bad diseases like Parkinson's disease. A lot of things can be helped by that. People can be helped to get off of addictive medications. Diabetics can help to have their neuropathy treated. And so this is something that I think molecular acupuncture it's amazing. It's called Morphic, ORPH. You can look up on the internet, MORPH. And it's a wonderful way to help people. Another thing that I recommend to people, a lot of times this is common for me to recommend it. I used to do this treatment in Arkansas, and that is chelation. CHELATION. Chelation is a wonderful way to remove heavy metals. It's FDA approved to remove heavy metals. It's not popular because some doctors, with poor scruples, I guess, they can try to capitalize on chelation and make it a cure-all for everything. And that's not the case. It's not a cure-all for everything, but it can help. In fact, the very first person we saw where I work now was Dr. Wingo. He was one of Dr. Wingo's patients. Dr. Wingo called me in to see the patient. And the guy said, one of the first things he said is, I should be the poster boy for chelation, because he had had a function of the heart of about 25% ejection fraction, which is the pumping of the heart. He had that doubled up to 50% by doing chelation treatment. He said it saved his life, and I believe him. He was very convinced that it looked like he felt great and this kind of thing. That was the first patient I'd ever seen here in Florida. But back in Arkansas, I did chelation treatment. A number of people who had wonderful results and long-term good health and this kind of thing because of chelation. Another that I've seen used, I've done chelation to myself, by the way. Hyperbaric oxygen. Hyperbaric oxygen is what you see from deep sea divers. Deep sea divers can get in a hyperbaric chamber to be saved, their life saved, but the oxygen can get in and really turn things around. But you can do that for other things like traumatic brain injury. And I believe stroke itself can be helped. I have patients that are getting into its way, hyperbaric chamber and chelation both. So you have to pay out of pocket. They're not terribly expensive, but they're not cheap. And if you have resources, they're wonderful things to do. But I've seen people with stroke get better with hyperbaric oxygen, and it can help a lot of different things as far as that goes. One of the weirdest things I learned is called, it's called EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, or tapping is the word this company used. Tapping is a combination of psychology and acupuncture or acupressure, and tapping different places around the face, around the arm, around the hand, different fingers, this kind of thing. Tapping those and doing it in a sequence has been found a big help for things like PTSD and emotional problems that have bound people for years, like after wars and things of that nature. PTSD problem is an extremely serious problem and can be helped by EFT. Some of the things that I've read that I'm going to talk to you about. Detoxification. Well, this is a simple principle. Get the bad stuff out, get the good stuff in. We use simple fiber supplements like Smooth and Move is a very good one that we use periodically when we have trouble at all. But having a regular high fiber, high water intake usually will keep a person from having a lot of GI problems. But if you have GI problems, you need to get detoxified. And there's a number of ways to do that. That you can take like activated charcoal, that sort of thing. Your health food store will be able to help you with that. It can make a big difference for you. There are essential oils. You may know of different oils, like my wife and I use peppermint one all the time. Just a little dab around the nose can help you breathe much better. Peppermint oil, wonderful. There's a number of really good oils out there that can be helpful. Far infrared sauna. A lot of people are using red light therapies for all kinds of things now. There is some value to it, and the red light can activate parts of the cell. Every cell has a mitochondria that can be turned on by this by red lights and by other wavelengths. We have, for instance, a treatment for glaucoma. It's a wavelength treatment of the area where fluid goes out of the eye. And that is a wonderful way to help people lower their pressure, to help treat glaucoma without having to add more medication or having to do surgery and that sort of thing. So that can be a big help. Mentioned hyperbaric oxygen, healing salves. There's a number of good healing salves that are out there. I'm a proponent of medical marijuana, by the way. Medical marijuana has great healing salves and some other things that you could get real good relief, like for insomnia, the nighttime taking of marijuana can be a big help. Cannabis can be a big help. And give people a good night's sleep and help their PTSD also is a big help for that. Homeopathic medicine. One of my associates, Dr. Ed Condron, his life was saved by homeopathic medicine. And my wife and I have used that for our kids. When they were young, we gave them drops of homeopathic medicine. If they had a stomach ache or something like that, or rash, we could give the homeopathic medicine and knock out things just so fast. So homeopathic medicine and herbal medicine. Herbal medicine can be a big help for a number of things, as serious as cancer and as routine as upset stomachs, sort of kind of thing. Herbal medicine can be a big help. We've seen that work for a lot of people. I put some things in here also that may sound strange, like marriage. Marriage is one of the things that will help a person live longer, happier life. Marriage obviously can be a problem, and in our country it's a tremendous problem now, divorce and that kind of thing. And marriage can be a life-sustaining institution, as well as being a wonderful way to have children and all that, but it can actually prolong a person's life. A happy marriage can. That goes right along with other things like forgiveness, which is a spiritual principle that from a health standpoint, you can't beat forgiveness. If you have chronic anger towards someone or hate towards someone, it will hurt you as much or more than the person that you're angry with. And forgiveness is one of those principles Jesus taught that he made it pretty obvious that is a extremely important thing. In other words, if you want your prayers answered, you need to be forgiving your brother or sister or friend that you're angry at before your prayers be answered. So it's good. So I would encourage you to be looking into how to forgive. Very, very important. Self-hypnosis. Self-hypnosis can be a big help. I was used to be a fairly good distance runner, marathon runner, and that kind of thing. 6 years I did that. But I had a friend that taught me how to talk to myself during the run, during a marathon run, and sure enough, I was able to perform by understanding what I had to say to myself as I was running, instead of complaining in my head about the pain and discomfort that I was going through. I could redo the words, and it would actually help my ability to continue running as fast as I could for as long as I could. So, which marathons you have to do that. I have also seen other intravenous therapies. For instance, many of y'all may be aware of some of the clinics in Ocala, for instance, that have vitamin C therapy for people who are some sickness for whatever reason, like COVID and that kind of thing, or just as simple as a hangover or whatever, you can go to these clinics and get IV vitamin C. Comes in Myers cocktail. Myers cocktail is a good way to restore your well-being, how well you feel, and that sort of thing. So we encourage people to use the Myers cocktails. And I recently was able to help some friends restore their health by giving them a Myers cocktail. Now, this is already 7:40 here. Aaron, I've already gone over what I thought I was going to be talking. What would you like to have time for questions, this kind of thing?
Sure. You want to take a couple questions?
I think it'd be good. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, guys. If you have questions for Dr. McNair, or Doctor of Ophthalmology, he's available now for questions. I actually have a question, Dr. McNair.
Yes,
I
sir.
know you mentioned some herbal type supplements. What are some herbal supplements that we can use to improve our eyes?
Good question. Good question. Let me. Hey, Jen. I moved it up. You know, I haven't. We are working on improving the immune system right now, Aaron. We've got some health issues that we're working on the immune system. For the immune system, this is it, which, by the way, for the eyes, it certainly wouldn't hurt because the immune system affects the eyes just like it affects every other part of the body. So we are getting to be experts in mushrooms and this kind of thing. Like, for instance, turkey tail.
Mm.
Heard of that? Lion's mane. Chaga is popular. We have. Hey, Jen, bring your herbal book to me. Okay, all right. She's not great, but anyway, so those are things that we've been looking into. I need some more of the mushroom, honey. Yeah, so the herbal, I've got to be able to come back with you another time to talk more about that. We're just now getting to be more in tune with that because of the immune system problems that we're having. And so we're going to be able to tell you much more. Give me a week or two and I can tell you more about that. Okay.
My second question is this. I hear a lot about these sunglasses that are UV sunglasses and blue light sunglasses. Are those any good recommendations for us to use those?
Apparently that is true. Blue light apparently is very good to help with computer and that sort of thing. You can see I'm not using them, but I do not have any eye problems, no headaches, no eye strain. So I don't wear it myself, but if a person's on a computer a lot, blue tinted, it actually is a very faint blue, but the wavelengths coming off the computer, and by the way, coming off of these things, very important. You got, cell phones, don't hold them up to your ear, guys. Yeah, it's going to hurt you. I mean, you have that right, you have that kind of energy coming off of your cell phone. Very dangerous. And so the more you limit that, the better off you are. The other thing that I've seen work at night for driving and that kind of thing is the amber or yellow color glasses can help. So I think there's some validity to that. Personalized to a person, though, because some people have, for instance, the red color can be used and people benefit tremendously from that. So all different kind of colors can help. And I would say personalize that at your optical shop and have them go through different colors, and you'll be able to tell that you put it on. You'll be able to tell.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. McNair. So we have some other people that have some questions for you. Dee Dee, go ahead.
That is a good question. We've tried many things over the years, exercises. I have an optometric friend who had a machine that he had people training their eyes to do the very thing you're asking, and it worked for a lot of people. He was one optometrist in North Little Rock, Arkansas, and he was the only one in the whole state that did that, I believe. But he had success. Jerry Shute was his name. But I'm just saying that so that kind of thing is legitimate, can be done. Most ophthalmologists, most optometrists don't worry with it so much unless there's, for instance, in childhood, there are some children that are getting so badly nearsighted so quick, not a quarter of a diopter, but multiple diopters, every year, and they can have a drop of atropine, like once a day. Atropine dilates the pupil, and it stops that progressive worsening of nearsightedness. However, when I just said it, we're dilating the pupil. Well, that makes it extremely hard for the child to function outside, particularly. It's going to be very different. So, that's one way. That's not exactly a holistic way, but that Dr. Shue's approach was much more holistic. But so there are medications that can be used, but no, I would not recommend that for you. And you just nailed it. You said you're spending a lot of time on screen, and that's a big stimulus to this problem. Another thing that happens to other people is that you can also get your eyes turning in so much. It's called esophoria. You don't literally get cross-eyed, but your eyes are wanting to cross in, turn in, and it's this constant strain to go through that. Is a constant thing. My wife, for instance, had a huge amount. She was spending like 10 hours a day on the computer, so her eyes started turning in and that sort of thing. And we had to put prism in her glasses. Prism in the glasses will help a great deal as far as dealing with that part of the problem. So there are things that can be done like that, but it's a struggle to do much in holistic and that kind of thing. And I really don't know of anybody in the area that's doing the exercises like my friend Dr. Pugh did. So,
all right.
well, and I have not either. But optometry is usually much better at that than ophthalmologists are. Most ophthalmologists are seeing older people with cataracts and glaucoma and macular problems and that sort of thing. And most of the optometrists are able to see younger people. So you may want to shop around a little bit, talk to some of the optometrists around, and see if they haven't tried different things you're talking about.
All right, Dr. Benair, we have another person that has a question for you. Lou D.
Good evening, Dr. McNair.
Hi.
Yes, I'm asking a question for the audience to with diabetic retinopathy. Can anything they could do for improvement, like the eye injection, or because of the swelling in the eyes, they could do the eye injection or laser? How many laser can you get?
Yeah, Lou, that question brings up one of the diseases that's affect integrative medical problem. That is because if you go to ophthalmologist for diabetic retinopathy, you can get injections, work wonderful. Laser sometimes is used. It used to be used all the time, but now we only have to use it for smaller spots and this kind of thing. So the injections are wonderful. They work extremely well. and the laser, again, to add to the benefits of the injections. But this is where I don't know how many people hear from their doctor about diet, but this is where I tell people, almost every diabetic, the reason your diabetes is still out of control is because you're still eating starch and dairy. Am I right? Yeah,
Yes.
right. Exactly right. So if you get off of basically sugar, starch, particularly gluten, gluten is the wheat is the demon there, and dairy, milk, cheese, yogurt, ice cream, and people. I would say maybe 1 or 2 people out of 10 will do what I ask them to do. But that 1 or 2, your blood sugar goes down. Your eyes get much better, much faster with the injections of laser that we're giving them. And so the combination, that's integrative medicine right there. That's a perfect way for nutrition. And of course, I tell people to exercise too. Not run marathons, but start walking, start getting your heart rate going. Those kinds of things. Those are simple, basic principles that you can do tremendously, as far as taking better care of yourself, and then let the doctor do what they can do. That's the integrative approach that I love to talk to people about. And so glad Aaron's given me a chance to talk to more than just one at a time. But I like to do one at a time too, as far as helping people to get healthier. It's a real rewarding practice when you can do that sort of thing. It really helps. One more thing is supplements. They haven't talked much about supplements. This is where the herbal supplements can be a help. But supplements like grapeseed extract. Grapeseed extract, another name for it is pycnogenol. And you get it at health food stores. Grapeseed extract or pycnogenol can help restore a healthy collagen to the integrity of the blood vessel, can be improved, just like vitamin C does the same thing. Vitamin C is the prevention of scurvy, which a lot of people know from the history, back when sailors came across from Europe to America, a lot of people would die from scurvy. They would hemorrhage from scurvy. So that they didn't have enough vitamin C. So vitamin C will strengthen the blood vessels. Grapeseed extract kind of fills in the blanks where vitamin C doesn't work. And you strengthen your blood vessels with those 2 supplements. So pretty straightforward. Once again, that's kind of an integrative thing where you're taking something that's not strict medication or something. But vitamin C is almost a medicine as far as I'm concerned, as far as helping people. It's a big help. So that's one more thing that diabetics can do.
Yes. So then that part of the question too, how many laser they could get for that same reason? How many laser treatment? Is it 1 or 2? I mean, is it 2 or 3?
Yeah, maybe 2 or 3. But it used to be 8 or 10. I mean, there used to be they treat every part of the retina to stop new blood vessels going into the eye. That's what diabetic lead to, is new blood vessels going in. So every place that we could treat the retina, we could do it to stop that process. The trouble is, every place that the laser is put, it actually kills part of the retina. So it slows down. It helps slow down the diabetes. In fact, it will stop the diabetes sometimes totally. But the person loses so much night vision, so much peripheral vision, that when the injections came along, it started reducing the number of laser procedures we had to do, and it turned things around tremendously for most diabetics. So now we don't, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 treatments maybe with the laser, but it's not like it used to be. So the resulting vision is going to be much, much better nowadays.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Doctor.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We have another question from another member, Salome. Go ahead.
Good evening, doctor. I'm
Good evening.
asking, hello?
Yes, I'm here. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I'm asking what is happening to the eyes whenever you start to see cobwebs.
Cobwebs. You bet. Cobwebs usually mean something is in the vitreous. The vitreous forms the most of the volume of the eye is formed by the vitreous. So the inside there's a fluid. It's like a jello-like fluid. That jello, as we go through life, begins to break down. The integrity starts breaking down. So what used to be a perfect structure starts unraveling. And so that unraveling leads to the cobweb look, or sometimes we'll have different shapes and sizes of what we refer to as floaters. Floaters are, they usually move around in the vision. Like I can look up on the wall and see just like gray areas kind of floating around and that kind of thing. Knowing what I know, I don't worry about those, and I just look past them. I don't worry about them. And on the other hand, if you have a problem with flashing lights and then a whole bunch of those floaters like that, that is much more serious. Potentially means a retina tear, retina hemorrhage, or something. And so, if you have a flashing light, multiple flashing lights, it would be a good idea to be seen, preferably by an ophthalmologist for a dilated examination. But usually those floaters, they're just protein particles, and the cobwebs are made up of strings of protein particles. So it's annoying. I call it annoying because I know it's annoying, but it's not dangerous.
Okay, so it will eventually disappear.
Well, if not, can they be treated? Yes, they can be treated. Particularly if a person's had cataract surgery, if they have, then those floaters can be treated, and at least half the time we can rid you of the floaters, or at least reduce them significantly, so they won't be so much fun.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Dr. Miner, we have another question. Sylvia?
Good evening, Dr. McNair.
Good evening.
Thank you. My question is with the floaters, is there a supplement you can take when you were talking about the protein and stuff like that that you can take for your eyes? Or just for your body in general that would help with your eyes?
Yeah, I've heard many people swear by a particular supplement, and but it's never been so endorsed or studied, I should say. I guess really hadn't been studied well enough to say for sure. But for instance, bilberry is one a supplement you get at any health food store. Bilberry is like blueberry. The bilberries were discovered in World War II. The English soldiers apparently were eating bilberry to help their vision, and they didn't realize that, I don't think, at the time, but it turned out they could see much better at night because of the bilberries they were eating. They were just wild bilberries. So a lot of people have studied bilberry and advocate that for floaters, and apparently helps some people. I mean, I've had people come in. We use a supplement called PreserVision. PreserVision is a very good overall vitamin for the eyes, and I've had some people say that my floaters went away with that, but there's no really proven reason why that would happen. But I don't think it's a bad idea at all to take vitamins like bilberry. It's going to be good for your eyes, or a PreserVision again is another one that's very good. So I just don't have one that I can advocate saying yes, this will cure your floaters.
Okay.
Anything that good.
And you say you can get it from the health food store?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Who else has questions while we still have Dr. McNair on the line? Any other questions about the eyes, ophthalmology? I'm sorry, Sheila?
All right, good evening. In my family, we have a history of glaucoma in that my maternal grandmother, my mom, my uncles, aunts were all legally blind. So which profession would you recommend? I do an annual exam and I tell my children and their children to make sure they get their annual exams. But would it be better for me to go to an ophthalmologist or an optometrist?
Well, I think there are many good optometrists that screen for glaucoma all the time, and they do a very good job. The only thing about glaucoma is that, and I've seen this with ophthalmologists too, that the eye doctor may rely too much on the pressure and not examine the optic nerve with the detail that can be done. Ophthalmology or optometry can also, but most ophthalmologists are a little bit more equipped to do some of the real subtle study that needs to be done sometimes. When you have a family history like that, an annual checkup may be enough to be done. But I would recommend, of course, I'm prejudiced. I would say yes, ophthalmology would be a little bit better. I think most ophthalmologists are a little bit better equipped. But optometrists do a wonderful job too of screening. But if they only check the pressure and they're not looking at the optic nerve in detail, because it's damage to the optic nerve that can happen with the pressure, a low pressure. By the way, we consider the pressure of 10 to 20 millimeters. 10 to 20 millimeters is the standard range, but you can get glaucoma even with a low pressure. So if a person's only looking at the pressure, we can miss glaucoma. So it is important to be studying the optic nerve. Now, by the way, optometrists know what I'm talking about, so they can do it. It's just a matter of taking the time and energy, and some of the testing is so subtle. It's done with machines that are very expensive and all that. I'm not sure if optometrists would want to buy something that would use it, maybe. But anyway, it's a good idea. I'm glad you're aware of the importance of your family history. And let me tell you about glaucoma being a integrative medical problem. As you probably already know, your family went through this. I'm sure they had drops and drops and drops, probably had surgery, probably had laser, and still had blindness as a problem. And so one of the things I encourage people to do is look into dietary change, because if you take care of your general health with glaucoma, if you take care of your circulation to the eyes, tremendous improvement, because the eyes, the optic nerve thrives on good circulation. So if you're not exercising, you should be getting exercise, because it improves the circulation to the eyes. The other thing that I've seen a lot of is nutrition. If people are dehydrated, big, important, because the pressure in the brain, this has been shown fairly recently, pressure in the brain counteracts the pressure in the eyes. So if you're dehydrated, the small effect, the effect of pressure, even though the pressure may not be high, but there will be much more effect on the optic nerve if a person is dehydrated. If a person will lose weight doing it properly, and I'm talking about sugar, starch, dairy again, if you do that properly, the fluid, the pressure in the eye goes down. So in other words, as you affect your general health, the protection against glaucoma is much, much better, along with the treatments that your optometrist or your ophthalmologist can give you to lower the pressure. So it's a combination of good health habits, good preventive care, that sort of thing, and then good medical surgical care as well. And that's another integrated medical problem.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Yes, ma'am. Anytime.
All right, Dr. Mary, we have another question from Maggie.
Okay. Where's Maggie? There's Maggie.
You have to come off of mute, Maggie. Maggie, you have to press the mute button at the bottom of your screen. in order to get looks like a microphone with a little slash through it. You got to press that button. All right, well, Maggie figures it out. Anybody else have any other questions for Dr. McNair while we still have him on the line? Anything about eye health, ophthalmology? Any other questions? All right, go ahead, Ludi.
Hi, Dr. McNair again. While the veins are larger than the artery in the eyes, if a person have high blood pressure and they're taking medication for the high blood pressure in their body, and how when the blood pressure get extremely low, what can happen to the eyes, the pressure in the eyes?
Yeah. That's a real smart question too. The high blood pressure and high eye pressure will go hand in hand. Very common. So I think I'll be answering your question. I think it will be. But what I'm saying is, in other words, people come in and they have high eye pressure, not necessarily glaucoma, by the way, but they have high pressure in the eye. They will commonly have high blood pressure. Now, the problem is, if a doctor, their medical doctor, if he treats the high blood pressure and lowers the high blood pressure, will he be lowering the eye pressure as well? No, usually not. But and there's a lot of details I can't get into, but I'm just saying they're usually not. So if you lower the blood pressure, let me back up and say this. Why does high blood pressure happen? Because blood vessels in our body, from the billions of, not billions, but thousands of miles of blood vessels we have, they're getting tighter and tighter as we get older. The blood vessels crank down and get smaller. The pressure from the heart is generating pressure to push blood through those vessels. So if the blood pressure goes down without those arteries getting bigger, guess what happens? The circulation gets less for the rest of your body. And that would be the eyes as well. And if you get less circulation to your eyes, you're going to have more chance of an eye stroke, more chance of worsening your glaucoma, more chance of macular degeneration, and it just goes on and on. So the blood pressure, the way it needs to be opened, the way the blood vessels need to be opened is by hydration, regular exercise, getting off the nasty foods, maybe chelation treatment, maybe hyperbaric oxygen, these other alternative things. But that I don't think everybody acknowledges what I'm telling you. I don't think everybody does, and I've seen people come into our office that are having that very problem. Their eyes are getting worse. Your blood pressure may be coming down way. By the way, if you lower your blood pressure and you don't have those arteries opened up, what is going to happen? You're going to have a stroke, or you're going to have a heart attack, you're going to get dizzy. And I see a lot of people at the emergency room, they'll call me and say, we've got a problem with somebody seeing, and I'll ask them about the blood pressure. And sure enough, the blood pressure would be low, but they've been treated for high blood pressure because our doctors believe 120 over 80, you have to have that. Well, you don't have to have, an 80-year-old person doesn't have to have that. For 120 over 80, you can be 20 years old and have that, and you'll be fine, but not at the age of 80. If you have 120 over 80 blood pressure, it's too low for most 80-year-old people. It's too low. And Lou, I kind of jumped around on that. Did I answer your question? I'm not sure I did.
Yes. I just want to add, while the high blood pressure can increase the eye pressure, but extremely low blood pressure from medication could that affect the optic nerve, the blood flow of the optic nerve?
Exactly right. Exactly right. That's what I'm saying. It's a real danger to have a person with the disease, high blood pressure, and you give people, give medication that actually it slows the heart down and all that kind of thing. But you're exactly right, because those little vessels, those little bitty, smaller than a human hair, those little vessels can't carry enough blood to the optic nerve. There's not enough pressure. They've got to have more pressure to push that blood through those vessels. So that's exactly right. I see it all the time. So that's why integrated medicine has to be done for that kind of disease, or you wind up losing sight, and it doesn't need to be done.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you.
All right, Dr. Munir. We have a few more questions. I know that your time is precious, so we have a few more questions, and we'll call it a night.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, I would say if you are real nearsighted, highly nearsighted people should be dilated. Maybe every 2 years is okay, unless they have symptoms. If you have symptoms, flashing lights, whole bunch of floaters all at one time, but like a shower of a whole bunch of floaters at one time, or I'd say the flashing lights, or a change of visual acuity. Obviously, those things prompt a dilation for sure. If you're totally asymptomatic, no symptoms at all, I would say every 5 years would be okay to do. As a younger person, everything every 5 years is fine. As an older person, we usually after the age of 60 to 70, maybe 75 or 80, depending on the health of the person, we will encourage an annual dilation in those people, but younger folks don't have to. Yeah, I think the digital picture that they can take usually is good enough to get almost anything, unless you're having symptoms again. That's very cool. You're welcome.
I have a general question for the audience, Dr. McNair. What are some symptoms I should watch out for that would have me to see a doctor like yourself immediately?
Oh, good point. Yeah, the main two things that you can tell is a change of vision. Obviously, the most common thing that we see in the emergency room is somebody said, "Hey, my vision went black. I mean, I can't see anything." If that sort of thing, so a bad change of vision, that's number one. And the other thing is bad pain. Now, so said change of vision, in other words, you're just sitting around watching TV and all of a sudden you can't see out of one of your eyes without any warning, and that's a stroke until proven otherwise. So any change of vision. Now, what if if a change of vision is coming on very slowly, then that's probably a cataract or something like that. But still, that's what I would suggest. Change of vision, number one. Number two is pain. Itching, burning, tearing is one thing, but if you're having pain, it's a serious problem to prove otherwise. Most of the time, those things will be obvious enough that you kind of know what's going on as far as pain goes, like you have a foreign body or you got hit in the eye or something. But it's mainly those two things. The problem with glaucoma, by the way, is that glaucoma does not give you a warning. And, you can't tell what the pressure is. I've seen people come in with very high pressures, 50, 55, that, real high pressures and no symptoms. And they have oftentimes have lost vision, a lot of vision in that one eye, and sometimes both eyes. So it can be extremely sneaky, the glaucoma can. But anyway, so any change of vision is a call to your doctor. Any pain and that kind of thing is a call also. A lot of people come in with pain, by the way. It's a simple dry eye problem, but their vision is blurred because their cornea is dry, and you're having trouble seeing. Yes, but that's usually just artificial tears and getting hydrated. Will turn things around for people. So I encourage people, any discomfort you're having, get the artificial tears. I like Ivizia, by the way. Ivizia, and you start drinking water, not coffee, tea, cola, water, and cool compresses, ice water compresses help a lot for any discomfort, that kind of thing. But those are the two main things I encourage when I see. I do some of the training for the ophthalmologists or the emergency room doctors. And I tell them the things I need to know when you call me is what is the vision doing, and do they have a pupil response? If their eye is responding to light, then we know the optic nerve is okay. So those are the two things.
Wonderful. We have two more questions on deck, Dr. McNair, and we'll let you go ahead and enjoy your evening. Go ahead, Jennifer.
Good evening, Dr. McNair. Thank you so much for the information. I am a contact lens user. And do you have, and right now I'm in, I wear gas contact lenses.
Yeah.
Is there a recommendation on how many years that you should wear contact lenses before you transition, or give your vision a break and wear glasses for 6 months or anything like that? Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, and then frankly, the contact lenses, gas perm contacts. Pardon me. The gas perm contacts can distort the cornea. Soft lenses usually don't, but gas perm lenses are so much better for if you have any astigmatism and that kind of thing, and you get better vision theoretically with gas perm lenses. I've seen people wearing 30 and 40 years and seem to get away with it. I don't think there's a hard, fast rule that you can't wear them after a period of time, but I would be, an annual checkup is a good idea for the contacts. And I think that is a good principle to follow, just to make sure that you're not getting that change. But and then if your doctor sees that happening, he'll warn you, and you may have to stop wearing contacts. But that's really unusual, frankly, to have to stop. Did I answer your question?
That did. Thank you. I couldn't get off mute. So
Okay.
yes. So that does help. And what I'm experiencing right now is some dry eye symptoms with the contact lenses, and I do have stigmatism, which has improved over the last 10 years instead of getting worse due to lifestyle changes. So I agree with the things that you're saying about lifestyle changes. So thank you.
Okay, well, yeah, so I was going to say, besides water, there's y'all may not know this, that there's actually 3 layers of tear film on the cornea. Water is the middle layer and the most important single one thing because of the rest of the body. But so water is very important. But on the foundational cornea surface itself is mucus, like the mucus we cough up and that kind of thing, which is lining our lungs. The mucus is very important to have it. Very important to have it on the eye and in the mouth, by the way. That's what lines the inside of the mouth as well. So very important to have mucus. How do you improve that? It's N-acetylcysteine. N-acetylcysteine. I wish I had a big chalkboard to write that. So ACETYL, acetylcysteine. N-acetyl, it's the precursor to mucus. You can look this up on the internet. is also the precursor to glutathione, which is a detoxifying molecule on the body. So if you go to the health food store, you can get N-acetylcysteine, will help your eyes, and it helps your whole body. And then the other thing is oil. Oil has become more famous recently, fish oil particularly, but you need to get a good quality omega-3 oil. Omega-3 oil you can get from plant like nuts, walnuts, all that sort of stuff. Omega-3 oil. There's a bunch of good sources. They're not necessarily meat sources. So you get those three things. N-acetylcysteine to help mucus, the water to help the water, and then the oil, the omega-3 oil, and you'll have a healthier tear film. It takes a month or two to get there. In the meantime, artificial tears. I like Ivizia, I-V-I-Z-I-A. Ivizia is a real good artificial tear you can use frequently if you have that problem. But yeah, I like to give people what I call the cure. The cure again is to have all three of those layers of tear film, and almost always you'll be free of that dry eye problem.
Thank
Yes, ma'am. You bet. Anytime.
All right. We have one last question, Dr. McNair, from D.
Yes, Dr. McNair.
Yeah.
There are people that, would take floaters in the eyes lightly, but we have had people to come into the emergency room with floaters. They describe the floaters as confetti coming down, especially after they had cataract removal. So
Yeah.
we always refer them to we do the eye exam in there, and then we refer them to a retina specialist. So could you tell the audience what they do the retina specialist does for the eyes when they have major confetti, because maybe it indicate bleeding in the eyes?
Well, that's you have really good questions. I tell you, you do. So here's the thing: is after cataract surgery, we put a lens implant. The cataract will be this thick. The lens implant is this thick, very thin. So what has to happen is on the inside of the eye, the fluid will shift around. Sometimes pull a retinal tear. It will be a flash of light. There will be a flash of light with this. And and if there's a tear in the retina, there will be a hemorrhage very commonly. Sometimes there could be a hemorrhage and no tear in the retina. But the confetti, what I'm thinking is you're saying like hundreds or thousands of little bitty pieces. If there's that many, it's a hemorrhage to prove otherwise. And yes, now as long as the vision's okay and there's no pain and that kind of thing, that person could wait until the next day, probably be okay. But they need a dilated exam. Need to be in the hands of an ophthalmologist for sure. Usually the general ophthalmologist will see that first and then refer to a retina specialist if needed. So yeah, that's that confetti look. The confetti being hundreds of thousands of little cells. That's almost always a hemorrhage, and almost always should go to an ophthalmologist as quickly as possible. Although most people go to the ER first, but hopefully to the ophthalmologist.
Mm. And where does the lens, when they do a cataract surgery, what happens to the lens? Or because I know that when we in our studies that the lens go into the back of the eyes and it dissolve in the body. Is that true?
I missed some of the words that you said there. If the lens of the eye is, of course, we're talking about when the cataract is removing the lens of the eye, and then the lens implant The lens implant goes right where the cataract came out. Now, were you talking about a complication? If there's a complication like the lens, the cataract can fall back into the vitreous or something like that. That can happen. Lens implants can do the same thing, but those are fairly uncommon complications.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You bet.
All right, Dr. McNair. So we really appreciate you. It was a wonderful presentation. Thank you so much for taking the time out your day to come and visit us. We definitely enjoyed your presentation. And thank you so much for answering all our questions. All right, Get Fit for God family and community and visitors, go ahead and put some emojis in the chat for Dr. McNair to show him your love and appreciation for a wonderful presentation on eye health. Thank you so much, Dr. McNair.
Very welcome. And thanks to everybody for showing up and asking the questions. I really enjoyed it.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right. So you can have a good evening, Dr. McNair. We're going to go ahead and do some housekeeping items. You're welcome to stay if you'd like, but we don't want to bother you anymore. I know you're a busy guy.
Okay, good deal. Thank y'all. Bye now. God bless you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, everybody. Give me just one moment. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. All right, everybody. Stay around for about 2 more minutes. Let me just do a couple of announcements really quick. I hope that you guys really enjoyed that and got some good benefit out of that presentation. And again, that's what we do on Wellness Wednesday. We bring in professionals that talk about health, nutrition, etc. That way, the Get Fit for God family and community, visitors and guests can benefit not only from a workout that we normally do in a Bible study, but information that will help us to live a healthier life and lifestyle. So I hope you guys really enjoyed that. And again, stay tuned every Wednesday for Wellness Wednesday. All right, so I want to thank and recognize my guests and my returning visitors and my legacy team members. So if I call your name and you're a guest, all I want you to do is just let me know who invited you. You don't have to come on camera. All you have to do is come off of mute and just let me know who invited you and then just a little bit about you. So let me just take a look if any guests are currently on. Donna, how are you, Donna?
I'm fine.
Thank you so much for participating with us today. I hope that the Wellness Wednesday was very good information for you. I really appreciate you coming. This is one of our sessions that we do called Wellness Wednesday. Normally, we do our fitness workout and Bible study. So I do want to invite you back for one of our regular sessions, which will start again on Friday. So definitely, I really appreciate you coming. Who invited you today?
Sylvia did.
Okay.
Sylvia invited me. Yes.
All right. Thank you,
Yes.
Sylvia, for inviting Miss Donna. And again, Miss Donna, you're always welcome to come back again. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right. Let's see who else is on here. That's a guest. Did you see any other guests on here? Okay. Maggie Waitima. Who invited Maggie?
Amy.
Oh, you're on. Okay. Hi, Maggie.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. And you guys?
Thank you. We're doing great. Well, we thank you so much for participating in our Wellness Wednesday. This is one of our days that we talk about health and wellness. And we want to invite you back to one of our normal sessions when we do our fitness workout and our Bible study. We typically do that on Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. So we thank you so much for coming by and hope that you enjoyed the session today. Okay.
I did. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you again and come again, please. And I think I saw another person, David. David, how are you? You have to hit the mute button. David?
Hi, hello.
Hey, how are you?
Not bad.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming today. I hope that you really enjoyed the Wellness Wednesday. I hope that information was very good for you and you learned some things. And I want to invite you back to our regular session where we do our fitness and our Bible study. We typically do that on Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. And so I thank you so much for coming by and checking this out. Okay.
We didn't ask who invited him.
I'm going to ask. I really appreciate you coming by. Who invited you today?
Amy,
All right. Thank you so much for that invite, Amy. And David, again, I do extend that invitation to come and visit us again. Okay.
sure I will.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right. Didi, I think that was all I guess, right? Okay. And I want to thank my returning visitors. I see Miss Rita on here. Thank you so much, Rita, for coming by and visiting with us again. I see, let's see, Jennifer, thank you again for coming by and participating with us today again. Let's see who else is on here. Any other visitors? Returning visitors? Okay. All right. And then I want to thank my legacy team. These are my major supporters, my backbone, the people that have been with me from day one and have also made a commitment to complete the 7-day fitness and spiritual challenge. So I thank those members. I see Lou D, I see Sylvia, I see Dee Dee, I see Sheila, Salome, Jasmine, Marie, and myself. All right. Thank you so much to all my Get Fit for God family members and legacy team members. All right. Next thing, food challenge. All right. Who completed the food challenge? So for those that are new and are here for the first time, we've been doing a food challenge all week. And the food challenge has been to eat the rainbow. Eat the rainbow. So what that means is eating different colors throughout the day. For example, green for celery or lettuce, red for watermelon and apples, yellow for squash and banana, brown for bread and meat, and then other colors, orange for carrots and orange for orange. So eating the rainbow is just another way to make sure that you're coupling your fitness with nutrition. All right, so let's do a little bit of accountability. Ludi, how'd you do today? Did you eat the rainbow?
Yes, I did.
All right, what'd you have?
I had a banana with my oatmeal, which is white, the walnut, which is brown, and I made conch fritters. I add green in the conch fritters. I add red for the tomato. I add a purple for the purple onion. I add yellow. Well, I had yellow already for the banana, but I had yellow bell pepper, green bell pepper, red bell pepper, and I ate all all of the colors,
Wonderful.
white, yes, white also.
All right, thank you so much. Sylvia, how'd you do today?
I did pretty good, I think. I had a veggie sub from Subway. Had my lettuce, tomatoes, my spinach, my cucumbers, um my bell peppers. What else they put on it? My black olive. Then I got the sweet onion sauce and mustard or the vinegar, salt and pepper. That's was for like when I got home. But earlier today I had some pineapple salsa, which had, of course, the fresh pineapple, the green, yellow, and red bell pepper with lime and lemon, and they put just a touch of spice in it. It was really good. Excuse me, and I had some fried okra.
Wonderful, thank you. Didi? Wonderful, wonderful. Jennifer, I don't know if you were participating in our food challenge, but did you eat the rainbow by chance today?
I did. I
Oh,
did.
okay.
Should
What'd
I?
you have?
Oh, okay. So I make a healing salad every week, and so I eat off of that. So I probably had 7 or 8 different colors in there.
Mm.
So red onion, purple cabbage, cucumbers, carrots, um, orange, red, and yellow peppers, sweet peas,
Mm.
bonzo beans, walnuts, sunflower seeds.
Wow. You're
Um,
gonna have to give us the recipe to that healing salad. Like definitely.
so
All right.
yeah, so whatever
Sheila,
I have in there. Yes.
good job. Sheila, how'd you do today? Sheila,
Oh,
eating the rainbow.
so I did okay. It's still early. I
Mm.
had a vegetable lasagna that had zucchini, squash, mushrooms, peppers, onions, green peppers, red peppers, yellow peppers, onions.
Mm.
Um, but it was white onions, not red. And I had yellow corn
Mm.
and yeah, tomatoes, of course, in lasagna. Yep.
Oh, that was good. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Those are all guests. Salome, did you eat the rainbow today?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
I
what'd you have?
lettuce, tomatoes, carrots, onion, apples, something else, something else. But I did.
Okay. Well, that
I
sounds
did.
that's you you
I'm
definitely
sticking to it.
good. Good, good, good. Marie, how'd you do today?
I got 3 in today, and
Okay.
that was early this morning. That was banana, pineapple, and watermelon. And I'm not sure if I'm going to eat for the rest of the day.
Okay. That's a light
Ash
meal.
Wednesday, today we usually do a little fasting for
Uh,
Ash Wednesday.
Rita, I don't know if you participated, but did you eat the rainbow by chance today? Rita, you with us? I think Rita might be eating the rainbow right now. Okay. Vanessa, did you happen to eat the rainbow today by chance?
I'm not even at home.
You didn't eat anything today?
I had some fruit juice.
That's all you had today was juice?
Yeah.
Man, you got to get some food in you. It's 8 o'clock. Well, 7 o'clock your time. Yeah, you got to get some food in you now. Nutrition is important. But if you do eat something today, try to eat some different color foods. Again, we're just trying to promote nutrition in eating the rainbow. Okay. All right. All right. I think that's everybody, right, Dee? All right, everybody. Let's see what other item we have left. The member of the week is Marie. So we will be posting Marie's picture today and her question later on today. For those that don't know what I'm talking about, we do a Get Fit for God member of the week where we share a photo every day of the week of one of our members so you guys can get to know them. And we ask them particular questions. Like yesterday, we asked Marie what was her favorite gospel song. So to find out that answer, go to our Get Fit for God Facebook page and definitely take a look at that to get to know some of our legacy members of Get Fit for God. All right. As you well know, Wellness Wednesday. So next week we'll be having Wellness Wednesday. Again, we'll have a wonderful panelist next week for our Wellness Wednesday. I'll let you guys know who that is on Sunday. So definitely show up again for another wonderful Wellness Wednesday starting next week. Also, tomorrow is Testimony Thursday. Please come back tomorrow, our guests and our visitors, to our wonderful Testimony Thursday. That's a day that we all come and share stories about how God has blessed us and how he's done wonderful miracles in our lives. And I always say this to everyone about Testimony Thursday. Everyone should have a testimony because God has done something in everyone's life here on this live. And sharing that with someone could actually really save another person's life. Sharing those testimonies, because we show that God is still real and active in 2026. So come tomorrow, our guests and visitors, to our Testimony Thursday as we share God's miracles in our lives. All right. And one caveat to that, please, when you do share your testimonies tomorrow, please make sure that they're between 5 and 7 minutes, because we do want to get in as many testimonies as possible. All right. Thank you so much. And last but not least, to our visitors and guests, please go to our Get Fit for God Facebook page and click follow. If you have not followed us or have not followed us on Facebook, please go today after the live to our Facebook page, Get Fit, the number 4 God, and click on that follow button to support us, and tell your friends and family members as well to do so. Also, go onto our YouTube page and click subscribe. That way you can see all of our videos. I think we're up to what, 105 videos, Didi? 105 videos, I think. Yeah, so we're up to 105 videos, guys. Wow, that's such an accomplishment. I feel so proud of my Get Fit for God family members and community. We have 105 videos online. So my guests and my visitors, if you would like to see some of our old videos about some of the other series that we have done, please go on to our Get Fit for God YouTube page. All right. All right. Does anybody have any prayer requests? Do we have any prayer requests? Anybody have any prayer requests? Anybody have any prayer requests?
I do. This is Jennifer.
Go ahead.
One of my dearest friends lost, her father passed away over the weekend, and my other friend husband passed away over the weekend. So if we can just keep that family in prayer. Thank
Okay. Wonderful. Okay, I got you. Thank you so much for that. Ludi?
Also, one of my good friend, her mother passed away. So, pray for her for God to comfort her.
Okay, got it. Got it. Any other prayer requests? Speak now. Any other prayer requests? Anybody have any other prayer requests? Sylvia?
Please continue to pray for my church family and my bishop's wife. That God totally heal her. Just agree with me in prayer that God do a miracle in her body and in her life. For Christ our Redeemer's sake. That he can be honored and there's a testimony after all of this.
Okay, okay, got it. Sheila, go ahead.
So I think last week I asked for prayer for my manager at work, and he just let us know today that he tested positive for COVID. So with that knowledge, I'd like for everybody to pray for my team, because we were all around him last week in office. So just pray for everybody on my team, and including my manager.
All right. Any other prayer requests? Speak now. Any other prayer requests? Anybody else? Any other prayer requests?
Unspoken.
Unspoken. All right. Got it. Okay. All right. I guess everybody else is blessed, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's good. All right. Who would like to pray tonight? Who would like to volunteer to pray tonight? Don't everybody look left or right now. Don't cut your camera off. I can see right through your camera. Okay, I see you smiling over there. I think I'll go ahead and pick you. Do you mind praying for us today, Jennifer?
No, I would love to. So, Heavenly Father, we thank you. We thank you for this gathering tonight in Fit for God. We thank you for everything that has been shared tonight. Lord, and we just go into prayer for the families and the names that have been mentioned and the situations that have been mentioned and the ones that have not been mentioned, that that your will be done in all of these situations, that you encircle all of us in your love and your grace and your mercy and in your healing. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Wonderful. Thank you so much. All right, everyone. So that officially ends our Wellness Wednesday. So I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I wish you guys a wonderful evening. And I bid you, God willing, that we see each other tomorrow for Testimony Thursday, same time, same place. You guys have a good night. Good night, everyone. Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night. Good night.